Hello everyone, JamieStarr here for the New World News Network. Subscribe, check the links below. Do your thing. This video, I'm going to get into some bullshit from everyone's favorite black-white guy, Shaun King, who I thought faded off into obscurity, but he's not. He's writing for some newspaper as their justice writer. So, I saw he had this tweet. Wow, it really does look like the United Kingdom will be leaving the European Union. Don't know why, I'm shocked, but I am. Oh yeah, why aren't we getting all these globalist unions that are destroying countries but bringing people together to hold hands like a giant cartoon painting in a kindergarten? Kumbaya, we are the world, go fuck yourself. Looks like the main people in the United States who are cheering on Brexit are racist, conservatives, and white supremacists. Where do you find these white supremacists? Or are they the type you invent? Come on, Shaun, really? Who are they? I have a hard time with this. I don't know where they exist. Racists and bigots hate being called out on their racism and bigotry. It's the strangest thing. You're a bigot. Own it. So, of course, I felt I had to correct this young lad. So I said, no, they don't. They usually own it. They wear funny hoods and swastikas, and they're very preachy about their racism, actually. If they deny being racist, chances are you're being a bully and calling names because they disagree with your politics. And assuming racism is the only reason to disagree with your politics makes you the bigot. And people forget that all the time. Like when there was the truck driver who, didn't tow someone's car because they're a Bernie supporter, and everyone's saying, oh, he's so evil, we need to go after people like this, we need to punish them, this, and that. They don't realize they're the bigots. They're the ones that have a problem with someone with a different opinion. It's not just that guy, it's the people responding. So, then, this young lad decided, all those will make sense in a moment. I saw this article he had published. King, if you want to stop mass shootings in America, consider banning white men. Oh, like how those colleges are banning white people from their black spaces? So, this Sunday, in a bit of tongue-in-cheek hyperbole, I tweeted that if our country truly wanted to ban the mass shootings, it would ban white people. After all, white people, white men in particular, not African Americans or Latinos or immigrants or Muslims, are responsible for the overwhelming majority of America's mass shootings. Keyword, mass shooting. So before we go any farther, I just want to present a few little things I found on the interwebs here. So, let's make sure we're at the start. FBI crime data for 2010 to 2011. Let's see. Rifles only killed about 300 some odd people. Shotguns. Only about 300 some odd people. Firearms, unknown types, 2,000. Knives or cutting instruments. Wow, more people die from knives than deadly assault rifles and weapons of war. Other weapons, hands and feet. Wow, more people die from hands and feet than rifles and shotguns combined. But look, handguns. Wow. Look at those numbers. Alright. Let's see. Age-adjusted rate of firearm homicide by race ethnicity. White people, 1.3. African Americans, 9.1. 2.1, 6.1. Now, remember, he said mass shootings. We're not talking about the types of shootings that are a problem. He's talking about the ones that are, these little shotgun rifle numbers. Oh, murders by weapon type, 2007 to 2011. Handguns. Look at the difference here. Handguns, other ones. This is where your mass shootings would be. This is where banning white people would be. And these are mass shootings. Now, can you guess who does most of the handgun crimes? I'm not going to say it. We'll just find it here. Guns and deaths by country. USA, Canada, Mexico, which has no Second Amendment or gun laws. Brazil, South Africa, Zimbabwe. Homicides by race: U.S. white, Holland, U.S. Latin, U.S. black. Mass shooters' weapons, 1982 to 2012. Of their 143 weapons, semi-automatic handguns, rifles, revolvers, shotguns. Are we starting to get a clearer picture? Alright, let's go to this. This is a breakdown. I think this one was by states. Homicide gun deaths: black people, white people. Suicides are higher among whites than blacks, though. There's also a phenomenon known in the black community as suicide by cop. Let's see. What do we have here? Incidents, let's see. Hospitalization rates for firearms among females. Number of hospitalized. Blacks. Blacks. Firearm, rate of firearm homicides by race, ethnicity. White people, oh, that's pretty stagnant right there. Hispanics, getting better, it's coming down. Blacks, way up here. So, I mean, blacks definitely are excelling. I mean, I don't know if this is something you'd be proud of excelling at, but homicide victims by race: 54.6 black, 25% white, Hispanic, others. And here's the share of the population. See, this is where it becomes bothersome. The majority of the population does a quarter of this. Half of a quarter, 12.8%, does half of all of the gun crimes. Violence-related firearm deaths by race. Of course, black people, which is nearly double the amount of whites. So, is that our last chart? Okay, so now let's go back to this article, now that we have a little bit of knowledge of the facts and actual problems. So, after all, white people, white men to be particular, not African Americans or Latinos or immigrants, Muslims are responsible for the overwhelming majority of America's mass shootings. But they're not responsible for the overwhelming majority of America's shootings. Keyword and the world of difference is the term mass. So, can we see how this is sort of misleading? And he's misleading and overlooking a whole bunch of facts just to push his racist agenda. See, this is how racism actually works, Mr. King. What I really wanted to see, though, is how people would respond to me being an overt racist. He called for ban on Muslim immigrants. And no, he didn't. He called for Syrian refugees. And here's the other issue. If anyone has seen Lauren Southern's video, there's no Syrian refugees. They're all from other third world countries. And I feel like this is their setup for a big gotcha, where they're going to be like, oh, these Syrian refugees, Muslims, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to say, oh, but actually they aren't Syrian refugees. They're from all over the place. And the only common ground between them is they're all poor, worthless peasant cultures. And we are the world, all holding hands, kumbaya, circle jerk, ethnic circle jerk. And that's all they want. So, banning Muslim immigrants would hardly stop any mass shootings in this country. It amazes me how we had a Muslim terrorist attack on a gay nightclub and it's pivoted into the war against America. Like the liberals on this country are blatantly on the same side as Muslim terrorists because they have the same view that Western society is the problem. The only difference is the Muslims are saying that the problematic Western society is the society that the liberals are trying to build. And people don't get this. I pulled the video of Dinesh D'Souza debating Cenk Uygur because I got a request to handle a little bit of stuff on the Young Turks. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to use that debate because it's great. It's a great example. But this is the whole thing that is just so ridiculous that people don't understand, that they said a certain group. They didn't say, Muslims, period. So, of course, it rattled a lot of folks. It was meant to. It was also meant to reveal the hypocrisy of just how willing one group is to get behind a ban when they don't think it would impact them, but go completely bonkers when you suggest they be banned instead. Yeah, because it wasn't a white guy who shot up a nightclub. Of course, he says banning any people is the dumbest, most bigoted, ridiculous notion ever proposed. I completely agree. No, I think actually that mass importing poor people to keep the economy afloat is kind of resembling slavery to me. I mean, it wasn't that the reason why they had to say slavery had to keep going was because of the economy. That's why we need all these poor peasant workers. So, it's simply not how it works. We're not Nazis. Isolating a group of people because of their religion, nationality, ethnicity, or sexual orientation, banning them in the name of safety or security or anything else is a recipe for the disaster. You, Mr. King, have no idea what Nazism is. You've been told that Nazism was a big mean man saying that he had a problem with the Jews and just deciding to go off on a racial, war, when that's very, very different from the reality of it. And in fact, Judaism declared war on Germany first. It's very similar to how Muslims and radical jihad has declared a war against the Western world. Very similar, and it makes it a lot harder to deal with. Whether we like it or not, we're all here together. We're going to have to figure out a smart way to peacefully coexist. Says the guy who's going around trying to call people a racist and a bigot, but then wants to put out articles talking about banning people and blaming them for mass shootings when they are obviously not the bulk of the problem. So I, of course, tweeted to Mr. King and said, hey, if you want to stop the gun violence in America, ban black people. That's actually supported by the facts. I mean, just because you can pull up these pictures of these three crazies, this one we know was actually working in a government DARPA program involving brain implants and mind control chips. So, there's a whole bunch of shadiness to get into there. But yeah, I just wanted to put forth this article and these statistics and the facts for people to realize how ridiculous these ideas are and how much they really have to grasp at straws and misrepresent things in order to make their point. So, I hope everyone enjoyed, and I hope everyone goes to Mr. King's Twitter and reminds him that it is he, in fact, who is the racist and the bigot, and he is just looking for political excuses to voice his racism and bigotry. So, subscribe to the channel, check the links below. Have a good one, everyone.